Once upon a time, in the land of Omi, there was a mischievous lad named Ishida Mitsunari. Born in the humble village of Ishida in Sakata district in the year 1560. Young Mitsunari had a destiny filled with laughter and adventure. The birthplace of Mitsunari has now transformed into the Grand Ishida Hall, where countless artifacts and tales of his exploits are proudly displayed. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Mitsunari hailed from a lineage of nobles who served the illustrious Asai clan. His father, the valiant warrior Ishida Masatsugu, ruled over Ishida village under the banner of the Asai clan. And his mother was none other than the daughter of a loyal retainer of the Asai clan, known as Lady Mizuta Kane. Legend has it that Mitsunari was a fair-skinned and captivating young lad with enchanting eyes that could steal hearts. During his childhood, he spent many mischievous days at the neighboring town's Grand Obara Kannon Temple, causing laughter and chaos wherever he went. Little did Mitsunari know that his mischievous upbringing would shape him into a legendary figure, renowned for his quick wit and unexpected antics. The land of Omi was about to witness the rise of a young man who would bring laughter and chaos to the pages of history. So join us on this whimsical journey as we uncover the humorous and extraordinary tales of Ishida Mitsunari, the master of laughter and the embodiment of unexpected surprises in the vibrant tapestry of feudal Japan. Once upon a time, in the mystical realm of Omi, a fateful encounter between Ishida Mitsunari and the renowned warlord Toyotomi Hideyoshi unfolded in a most peculiar way. This whimsical tale, known as the Three Offerings of Tea, has been passed down through the ages, leaving laughter in its wake. As fate would have it, Hideyoshi, who had just ascended as the lord of Nagahama Castle, found himself parched after a thrilling day of falconry within his domain. Seeking solace for his thirst, he stumbled upon a humble temple on his way back. And who should come to his aid but the mischievous temple acolyte, Ishida Mitsunari. With mischievous glee twinkling in his eyes, Mitsunari prepared the first cup of tea for Hideyoshi. It was a lukewarm brew poured generously into an oversized tea bowl. Thirsty Hideyoshi gulped it down, appreciating the refreshing taste. Not one to be predictable, Mitsunari swiftly presented the second cup, a slightly warmer tea poured into a moderately smaller bowl. Once again, Hideyoshi drank it down, savoring the comforting warmth that spread through his body. But Mitsunari had one last surprise up his sleeve. The final cup was steaming hot, poured into the tiniest of tea bowls. As Hideyoshi sipped cautiously, his taste buds were greeted by the exhilarating heat of the tea. Amused by Mitsunari's thoughtfulness and ingenuity in catering to his needs, Hideyoshi couldn't help but admire the acolyte's quick wit and resourcefulness. Thus, in this comical encounter, Ishida Mitsunari became a loyal retainer of the mighty Toyotomi clan. Now, it's worth noting that there are conflicting tales regarding the setting of this tea-filled escapade. Some argue that it took place not at Obara Kannon Temple but at the ancient Hashiba Hawk Temple. And there are those who even challenge the authenticity of this story altogether. Nevertheless, in the realm of whimsical storytelling, the legend of the Three Offerings of Tea has become a cherished tale, symbolizing the comical first contact between Ishida Mitsunari and the charismatic Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Prepare to sip from the cup of laughter as we delve deeper into the vibrant chronicles of these extraordinary characters. Once upon a tea-filled time, there existed an extraordinary bond of friendship between Ishida Mitsunari and his trusted comrade, Otani Yoshitsugu. Otani Yoshitsugu, a valiant warrior in service of the Toyotomi clan, stood by Mitsunari's side through the turbulent waves of history, including the infamous Battle of Sekigahara. And what tied these two together? You ask? Well, it was none other than the power of tea. One fateful day, Otani Yoshitsugu found himself attending a grand tea gathering hosted by the illustrious Toyotomi family. As the attendees took turns savoring the ceremonial tea, fate had a rather unfortunate surprise in store for Yoshitsugu. You see, Yoshitsugu was afflicted with a peculiar ailment known as pimple disease, causing his face to be covered in unsightly sores. And as luck would have it, as the tea bowl made its way to Yoshitsugu, a drop of pus from his unfortunate countenance accidentally fell into the bowl. The horrified onlookers recoiled in disgust, refusing to accept the tea bowl passed by Yoshitsugu. But fear not, for salvation arrived in the form of none other than Ishida Mitsunari. With a mischievous glint in his eye, Mitsunari boldly declared, "I am parched," and gallantly accepted the tea bowl from Yoshitsugu. Without a hint of hesitation, Mitsunari calmly drank the tea, pus and all, as if it were the elixir of life itself. Impressed by Mitsunari's unparalleled kindness and unwavering loyalty, Yoshitsugu's heart swelled with gratitude. He knew in that moment that he had found a friend like no other. "I shall follow this man until the end," Yoshitsugu declared, his resolve solidified by the whimsical connection formed over a sip of tea. Through the mystical power of tea, Ishida Mitsunari not only gained the trust of his lord, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, but also forged an unbreakable bond of friendship with Otani Yoshitsugu. Truly, the tale of Mitsunari's life was intertwined with the mystical threads of tea, forever reminding us that even in the most peculiar circumstances, true friendship can blossom. Once upon a time in the wacky world of feudal Japan, a young lad named Ishida Mitsunari discovered his true calling, not as a fearsome warrior, but as a master of bureaucracy and diplomacy. At the tender age of 14, he found himself in the service of Hashiba Hideyoshi, later known as Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the rising star of the era. You see, while other samurai were swinging their swords and engaging in epic battles, Ishida Mitsunari wielded a different kind of power, the power of paperwork. He became the go-to guy for matters of statecraft and administrative wizardry. It was said that even at the ripe age of 20, he penned a document known as the Ishida Mitsunari Official Document Catalog, showcasing his extraordinary talent for all things bureaucratic. During this time, his lord, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, was making waves in the realm of power. Just a year after the infamous incident at Hanaji, in the year 1583, Hideyoshi achieved a resounding victory at the Battle of Shizugatake against the formidable Shibata Katsui. With this triumph, Hideyoshi solidified his position as the rightful successor to the Oda clan's legacy. And amidst this swirling storm of political upheaval, our hero Mitsunari played a crucial role. It was his diplomatic strategies and impeccable intelligence gathering during the battle that earned him a reputation for greatness. Legend has it that he was granted lordship over the magnificent castle of Mizuguchi in the province of Omi. So there you have it. A tale of a young man who discovered his true strength not in wielding a sword but in wielding a pen. Ishida Mitsunari, the unexpected hero of administration, proved that sometimes the mightiest battles are fought not on the field but behind the scenes, with ink and parchment as his weapons of choice. Once upon a time in the land of samurais and castles, a peculiar tale of Ishida Mitsunari's tenure as the lord of Mizuguchi Castle unfolds. While historians debate whether he truly held this position, one particular anecdote about his employment of a renowned warrior named Shimazu Sakano has become the stuff of legends. It all began when Ishida Mitsunari received a generous increase of 40,000 koku in his stipend from the illustrious Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Curious about his entourage, Hideyoshi asked Mitsunari, "By the way, how many retainers do you have?" With a mischievous grin, Mitsunari replied, "Oh, just one, sir." Taken aback, Hideyoshi exclaimed, "Only one? Who might that be?" Without skipping a beat, Mitsunari proudly declared, "Why, it's Shimazu Sakano." Now, let me tell you, Shimazu Sakano was no ordinary warrior. He was a force to be reckoned with, a true powerhouse of skill and might. The thought of such a formidable figure serving under a low-ranking samurai like Mitsunari was beyond imagination. Intrigued, Hideyoshi pressed further. "And how much did you offer him to join your ranks?" With an air of confidence, Mitsunari revealed, "I employed him for half of my 40,000 koku stipend, a generous sum of 20,000 koku." At this point, even the great Toyotomi Hideyoshi couldn't help but chuckle. "I've never heard of a lord and vassal receiving the same income. But I suppose a warrior like Shimazu Sakano wouldn't serve under anyone unless the pay was worth it," he mused. And so, the tale of Ishida Mitsunari's audacious claim of having only one retainer, the legendary Shimazu Sakano, and the exorbitant salary he offered, became a testament to his wit and resourcefulness. In this whimsical world of samurais and eccentricities, truth and fiction often intertwine, blurring the lines between reality and imagination. But one thing is certain. Ishida Mitsunari's clever maneuverings and his knack for enticing warriors with outrageous salaries left a lasting mark in the annals of history. Once upon a time in the land of feudal Japan, a grand tale of career advancements and political maneuverings unfolds. It is the year 1585, and Toyotomi Hideyoshi, a charismatic and ambitious figure, achieves the remarkable feat of becoming the first ever warrior regent, or Kampaku, in Japan's history. And guess who's right there with him? Our witty protagonist, Ishida Mitsunari. As Hideyoshi ascends to the glorious rank of Kampaku, Ishida Mitsunari's star also rises. He is bestowed with the prestigious title of Jibu Shosuke, a position of great influence as the Assistant Minister of Justice. But that's not all. Imagine this, our daring hero, at the tender age of 25, finds himself among the esteemed Gobugyo, the 5 commissioners who govern various administrative and judicial matters in the Toyotomi regime. With his sharp wit and keen intellect, Ishida Mitsunari becomes a pillar of the Toyotomi government, shouldering the weighty responsibilities of justice and administration. But wait, there's more. In the year 1585, a remarkable event known as the Suishui meeting takes place. Toyotomi Hideyoshi, accompanied by none other than Ishida Mitsunari, ventures forth to meet with the formidable warlord Uesugi Kenshin. The purpose of this momentous meeting? Hideyoshi, in his quest for nationwide unification, seeks Uesugi Kenshin's cooperation and support. And who better to assist in such delicate negotiations than our witty protagonist, Ishida Mitsunari? He assumes the role of a strategic advisor or diplomat, guiding Hideyoshi through the intricate dance of diplomacy. In the year 1586, when Uesugi Kagekatsu, Kenshin's successor, makes his grand entrance into the Toyotomi fold, it is none other than Ishida Mitsunari who graciously welcomes him to the fold, representing the might and splendor of the Toyotomi clan. In this whimsical world of political intrigue and historic advancements, Ishida Mitsunari shines as a young prodigy. A rising star who navigates the treacherous waters of power with unparalleled wit and charisma. So let the drums of success and laughter resound. For the story of Toyotomi Hideyoshi's ascension to Kampaku and Ishida Mitsunari's prestigious role as a Gobugyo has forever etched its mark in the annals of history. In a land of peace and prosperity, with the warlords subdued and a glimmer of tranquility on the horizon, a tale unfolds of a valiant warrior with a sharp mind and an important role to play. Enter Ishida Mitsunari, the epitome of intelligence and seriousness, ready to embark on a momentous endeavor. It is the year 1590, and Toyotomi Hideyoshi, having achieved the unification of Japan, sets his sights on a grand financial reform known as Taiko's Land Survey. And who better to spearhead this noble task than our earnest protagonist, Ishida Mitsunari himself? With a sense of duty and determination, he journeys across the nation, conducting surveys and assessments. This ambitious endeavor, the Taiko's Land Survey, aimed to measure the size and productivity of fields and determine the land's value in terms of koku, a unit of measurement for rice production. Its purpose was to ensure accurate tax collection and stabilize revenue for the government. From the year 1584 onward, Ishida Mitsunari travels far and wide, surveying the lands of Mino, Tohoku, Ichigo, Satsuma, and beyond. With each experience, he gains valuable insights, becoming an expert in land surveying and earning the esteemed title of the Survey Commissioner's trusted advisor. In his newfound role, Ishida Mitsunari lays down the principles of the survey in what is known as the 7 Pledges. These pledges embody his commitment to fairness, respect, and efficiency. They include promises such as conducting the survey diligently even in the face of rewards, showing utmost respect to his lord, ensuring that subordinates refrain from seeking bribes, and swiftly and meticulously surveying the areas under his jurisdiction. Furthermore, the pledges emphasize the importance of reporting any misconduct, refraining from mistreating farmers or abusing power, and ensuring that even those disliked by the villagers receive fair and impartial treatment. It is a testament to Ishida Mitsunari's integrity and dedication to a just and equitable policy. Amidst the backdrop of peace and progress, Ishida Mitsunari emerges as a paragon of seriousness. Diligently carrying out his duty in the Teiko's land survey. With his commitment to fairness and a sense of responsibility, he leaves an indelible mark on the pages of history. And so, let the tale of Ishida Mitsunari's earnestness and commitment to equitable governance continue to captivate hearts and minds for generations to come. Once upon a time, in the realm of Toyotomi Hideyoshi's magnificent rule, there lived a remarkable man named Ishida Mitsunari, whose talents extended far beyond land surveys. As the wheels of the Toyotomi government turned and policies were set into motion, it was Ishida Mitsunari who took charge of ensuring their realization with a touch of finesse and a sprinkle of wit. Toyotomi Hideyoshi, in his pursuit of unifying the realm, embarked on a series of campaigns to balance power with the warlords of Kyushu, conquer the fortress of Odawara, and pacify the distant lands of Tohoku. Gradually, peace spread across the territories, and it was Ishida Mitsunari who skillfully orchestrated the logistics and post-war affairs. But that's not all. In the year 1588, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, eager to showcase his might to the world, extended a grand invitation to the esteemed Emperor Go-Yozei at his opulent residence known as Jurakudai. This event, famously referred to as the Jurakudai procession, aimed to restore the political stature of the emperor. And who was the mastermind behind this splendid affair? None other than our versatile hero, Ishida Mitsunari, who showered the emperor with lavish hospitality fit for a sovereign. With seamless grace and unwavering dedication, Ishida Mitsunari fulfilled a multitude of tasks under the banner of Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Whether it was managing logistics, navigating the delicate realm of politics, or bringing dreams to fruition, he never let his illustrious career become a mere facade. Instead, he breathed life into each responsibility, infusing them with his unique charm and unwavering determination. And so, amidst the grand tapestry of Toyotomi's rule, Ishida Mitsunari stood tall as the secret ingredient, the wizard behind the scenes, making sure that the gears of the government turned smoothly and the dreams of Toyotomi Hideyoshi became a tangible reality. His exploits, a testament to his versatility and unwavering commitment, forever etched in the annals of history, continue to delight and inspire us to this day. Once upon a time in the land of hilarity and mischief, the audacious Ishida Mitsunari found himself in his 30s, appointed as the lord of Sawayama Castle in the province of Omi. With a swagger in his step, he ruled over the bountiful lands of Sawayama, a domain totaling a whopping 190,000 koku. Now, Sawayama was no ordinary place. It stood as a crucial hub connecting the Kinai region to the eastern provinces, making it a hotbed of military, political, and economic significance. Some even whispered, "There are two things that go beyond Ishida Mitsunari's grasp: Shima Saken and Sawayama Castle." Yes, indeed. Both the rule over Sawayama and the loyal services of the valiant retainer Shima Saken seemed almost too good to be true for our daring hero. Yet, Ishida Mitsunari's governance over Sawayama was legendary, often hailed as a paragon of benevolent leadership. The people adored him, for he was a lord who truly cared for his subjects. Implementing the 13 articles, and the 9 articles within his domain, Ishida Mitsunari meticulously regulated the calculation of taxes, leaving no room for ambiguity. But here's where it gets truly uproarious. Buried deep within these regulations, one peculiar provision emerged. It proclaimed, if the peasants encounter any hardships, they are permitted to directly appeal to me, Ishida Mitsunari, without going through intermediaries. Yes, you heard it right. Direct appeals to the Lord himself, bypassing all the red tape. Ishida Mitsunari was determined to ensure the precise functioning of the tax system, and he welcomed any grievances that may arise from the hard-working farmers. As time went on, Ishida Mitsunari's unwavering loyalty to Toyotomi Hideyoshi propelled him to even greater heights within the Toyotomi administration. He became an indispensable pillar of the Toyotomi regime. And, in an attempt to reward his faithful retainer Shima Saken, he proposed to bestow upon him even more land and wealth. But what did Shima Saken do? He turned down the offer with a mischievous smile and said, "I don't need any more rewards, my lord. Please give them to other deserving retainers. Instead, allow me to recruit more soldiers and strengthen the might of the Ishida forces." Oh, the audacity! And so, amidst the political chessboard and the ever-entertaining dance of power, Ishida Mitsunari played his part with a blend of sincerity, wit, and a pinch of mischief. His legacy as a lord who genuinely cared for his people and his relentless pursuit of fairness and efficiency in the tax system left an indelible mark on the annals of history. Forever celebrated as a tale of mirth and valor. In the realm of laughter and adventure, we find ourselves amidst the grand tale of Toyotomi Hideyoshi's audacious ambition, the conquest of the Ming dynasty. But before he could set his sights on Ming, he needed to traverse the Korean peninsula. And so, in the year 1592, the renowned Imjin War erupted as a rebellion needed to be quelled. And our hero Ishida Mitsunari was appointed as the illustrious, supreme commander of Korea. Picture this: Toyotomi Hideyoshi had just unified Japan, and his newly honed samurai forces were itching for their next great adventure. With lightning speed, they swooped down upon the Korean peninsula, their banners fluttering proudly in the wind. The Imjin War had begun, led by the likes of the dashing Ishida Mitsunari, the scholarly warrior, Konishi Yukinaga, and the fearless and ferocious samurai, Kato Kiyomasa. The Japanese forces steamrolled through the Korean countryside, leaving their foes in awe and their allies in laughter. In a mere 2 months, castle after castle fell before the might of the Japanese warriors. It was a spectacle to behold. As the battle-hardened samurai, tempered in the fires of Japan's war-torn era, displayed their awe-inspiring strength and prowess. The valiant Konishi Yukinaga, a stalwart of intellect and strategy like Ishida Mitsunari, achieved the stunning capture of the capital, Hanyang. Meanwhile, the indomitable Kato Kiyomasa, a true warrior of reckless courage, left a trail of defeated enemies in his wake. As the tale of the Imjin War unfolds, the clash of swords and the echoes of laughter reverberate across the peninsula. With Ishida Mitsunari at the helm, leading his forces with a blend of cunning and mischief, the Japanese soldiers carved their path through the Korean lands, leaving a legacy of audacity and merriment. Oh, what a spectacle it must have been! A thrilling comedy of war, filled with daring exploits, strategic brilliance, and a touch of mischief. All woven together in the grand tapestry of Toyotomi Hideyoshi's audacious quest for dominion. In a whirlwind of misunderstandings and comedic twists, we find ourselves embroiled in the tale of Ishida Mitsunari, caught in the web of resentment woven by the mighty Kato Kiyomasa. As the war dragged on, the Japanese forces found themselves cut off from their supply lines, plagued by famine and ravaged by rampant disease. In their hour of desperation, it was the duo of Konishi Yukinaga and Ishida Mitsunari who took the lead, advocating for peace with the Ming dynasty. However, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, fueled by reports of continuous victories, was determined to present a bold and uncompromising peace proposal. The terms of this proposed peace were nothing short of audacious. Marriage of the princess to the emperor, resumption of Japan-Ming trade, and acquisition of approximately half of Korea's territory, to name a few. However, the actual terms presented by Konishi Yukinaga and Ishida Mitsunari were far more conciliatory, suggesting that Toyotomi Hideyoshi should become a vassal king to the Ming dynasty. This weakened proposal left the warrior Kato Kiyomasa dissatisfied, and the Japanese forces found themselves on the brink of internal division. Sensing the brewing discord, Konishi Yukinaga reported to Toyotomi Hideyoshi, "Kato Kiyomasa's conduct in Korea has been outrageous." Incensed by this revelation, Toyotomi Hideyoshi summoned Kato Kiyomasa. The reluctant return of Kato Kiyomasa led him to erroneously blame Ishida Mitsunari for his predicament, fueling his simmering resentment. Determined to resolve the issue, Kato Kiyomasa beseeched Masaida Nagamori, one of the Gobugyo 5 commissioners, to intercede and appease the wrath of Toyotomi Hideyoshi. And so, Masaida Nagamori imparted his sage advice. You should make amends and be on good terms with Ishida Mitsunari. Outraged by this suggestion, Kato Kiyomasa declared, "Even if I were told to commit seppuku, I would never reconcile with him." Thus, a deep rift formed between the warrior faction and Ishida Mitsunari, all due to a series of comical misunderstandings. And thus, the stage is set for a tale of clashes, reconciliation, and the comedic intricacies of human folly. Will Ishida Mitsunari and Kato Kiyomasa find a way to mend their fractured relationship? Or will their misunderstandings deepen the chasm between them? Only time will tell in this captivating saga of camaraderie and miscommunication. In a comical twist of fate, we find Ishida Mitsunari once again caught in the web of misunderstandings, this time during the Kaicho no Eki campaign. The Ming dynasty had accepted the weak peace condition proposed by the Japanese side, which was to make Toyotomi Hideyoshi the King of Japan. The document of acceptance arrived in the hands of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, who was left dumbfounded. You see, he had mistakenly believed that his own bold and demanding peace terms had been accepted. However, this didn't stop Toyotomi Hideyoshi from making a surprising decision in 1597. Launching the Kaicho no Eki campaign, embarking on another expedition to Korea. As the campaign began, Kato Kiyomasa found himself in a siege at Ulsan Castle. But with the timely arrival of reinforcements led by Mori Terumoto, they managed to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. As the battle concluded, warriors like Yukita Hideo, Kato Kiyomasa, and Kobayakawa Hideaki grew concerned about the increasing might of the combined forces of the Ming dynasty and Korea. They proposed to Toyotomi Hideyoshi to abandon some of the castles in Korea and consolidate their positions. However, Konishi Yukinaga and Ishida Mitsunari rejected this proposal, leading Toyotomi Hideyoshi to punish the initiators harshly. Among them, Kobayakawa Hideaki faced severe consequences, being criticized for his reckless actions and losing territory through relocation. His income diminished, forcing him to reduce the number of his retainers. To add insult to injury, Ishida Mitsunari was appointed as the deputy governor of Hideaki's former domain. The disgruntled warriors who had faced consequences blamed Ishida Mitsunari once again, exclaiming, "He's done it to us again." This growing rift between Ishida Mitsunari and the warrior faction would later have a significant impact on the events of the Battle of Sekigahara. In this whimsical tale of misunderstandings, Ishida Mitsunari finds himself unwittingly at the center of the storm, with resentful warriors and misjudgments fueling the flames of conflict. In a hilarious turn of events, the conflicts that arose during the Korean campaign had a lasting impact on the infamous Battle of Sekigahara and the subsequent fate of Ishida Mitsunari. In 1598, after the death of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the Japanese forces withdrew from Korea under the command of none other than Ishida Mitsunari. The withdrawal took approximately 3 months. 2 years later, the Battle of Sekigahara erupted onto the scene. The warrior faction, including Kato Kiyomasa, who had clashed with Ishida Mitsunari during the Korean campaign, sided with the Eastern Army led by Tokugawa Ieyasu, while Ishida Mitsunari joined the Western Army. The commander-in-chief of the Western Army, Mori Terumoto, had been on good terms with Ishida Mitsunari since their time in Korea. However, Kobayakawa Hideaki, resentful of Ishida Mitsunari for causing his relocation, betrayed the Western Army after the battle began. This act of betrayal sparked a chain reaction as other Western Army generals followed suit. Ultimately, the Western Army suffered defeat in the Battle of Sekigahara, forcing Ishida Mitsunari to flee to a side district in Omi province, where he sought to rebuild. Finding refuge with a peasant named Yojiro Taoyu, Ishida Mitsunari kept a low profile. From Yojiro Taoyu's perspective, Ishida Mitsunari was not only the former feudal lord but also the person who saved the villagers during a famine. However, their secret was exposed to the village headman, Tanaka Yoshimasa, who ordered Ishida Mitsunari's capture. Grateful for Yojiro Taoyu's kindness, Ishida Mitsunari decided to surrender himself. When Ishida Mitsunari finally faced Tanaka Yoshimasa, an old acquaintance, he handed over a short sword received from Toyotomi Hideyoshi, saying, "I have no regrets for what I have done for the Toyotomi family." Tanaka Yoshimasa treated Ishida Mitsunari with kindness and handed him over to Tokugawa Ieyasu 3 days later. As Ishida Mitsunari was being held captive, he encountered Kobayakawa Hideaki, who had come to witness his capture. Ishida Mitsunari boldly declared, "I was a fool not to expect your betrayal. But to forsake reason and deceive others, that is a disgrace for a warrior. I shall be ridiculed by future generations." And so, the comical saga of Ishida Mitsunari continues. Filled with misunderstandings, loyalty, and the consequences of his actions during the Korean campaign, ultimately shaping the events of the Battle of Sekigahara and his subsequent downfall. In a comical twist, let's explore the story of Ishida Mitsunari and his unwavering hope, even in the face of imminent execution. After his defeat in the Battle of Sekigahara, Ishida Mitsunari was captured by the Eastern Army and sentenced to be executed at the Rokujo Kawara in Kyoto. It is said that a memorable anecdote unfolded as Ishida Mitsunari approached his final moments. Just before the execution, Ishida Mitsunari requested water from the guards, stating that he was thirsty. One of the guards responded, "There is no water, so eat a persimmon instead." However, Ishida Mitsunari, refusing to eat the persimmon, exclaimed, "Persimmons turn into phlegm poison." The guard laughed, saying, "Why would a dying man worry about poison?" To which Ishida Mitsunari replied, "Those who hold great aspirations value their lives until the very end." Despite being in a desperate situation, Ishida Mitsunari still held on to the hope of a miraculous turn of events that could save him. Alas, such a miracle did not occur. And so, Ishida Mitsunari faced his execution, closing the chapter of his life at the age of 41. Even in his final moments, he remained steadfast in his beliefs, refusing to let go of hope and valuing his life until the very end. Let's spin a humorous tale about Ishida Mitsunari and his encounter with Tokugawa Ieyasu as they approached the day of his execution. After meeting Ishida Mitsunari in Otsu, Tokugawa Ieyasu praised him, saying, "Ishida Mitsunari understands the ways of a general," and remarked, "He's quite exceptional." Following the meeting with Tokugawa Ieyasu, Ishida Mitsunari was placed under the care of Honda Tadakatsu, one of Tokugawa's top advisors. However, during this time, Ishida Mitsunari received criticism from Honda Tadakatsu for his strategies, which angered him to the core. Ishida Mitsunari vented his frustration by berating Honda Tadakatsu and thereafter remained silent, refusing to utter a single word. Prior to the execution, Tokugawa Ieyasu presented 3 individuals, Ishida Mitsunari, Kikawa Hiroi, and Ankokuji Iki, with kasode garments. While 2 of them accepted the kasode, Ishida Mitsunari questioned, "Who sent this kasode?" Upon hearing that it was from Tokugawa Ieyasu, Ishida Mitsunari retorted, "There's only one person fit to wear this kasode. And that would be Lord Hideyori, Toyotomi Hideyoshi's 3rd son." When did Tokugawa Ieyasu become lord? He declined to accept the kasode. Furthermore, just before his execution, Ishida Mitsunari made a request to the guards, saying, "I'm thirsty and would like some water." In response, the guards told him, "There is no water. So eat a persimmon instead." Ishida Mitsunari adamantly refused, stating, "Persimmons turn into phlegm poison." The guard chuckled, remarking, "Why would a dying man worry about poison?" But Ishida Mitsunari coolly replied, "Those who hold great aspirations value their lives until the very end, even in the face of adversity." In 1600, Ishida Mitsunari met his fate through beheading at the age of 41. Despite facing numerous hardships, Ishida Mitsunari approached challenges with rational thinking and an unyielding spirit. Therefore, he was able to accomplish significant feats, even in the face of impossible demands from Toyotomi Hideyoshi. As his farewell poem goes, "Like a bonfire shining on the Chikuma River, fading away together with my life," Ishida Mitsunari left behind a legacy of resilience and wit,